welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial slash chatty get ready with me. I just want to sit down and talk to you guys and update you on how my January has been so far, how 2020 has been going, what I've been up to this last month to get myself ready for this year, I guess. So let's just jump right into it. First, I'm going to start off with priming my face, and I'm using these two Fenty primers. This is the Soft Silk Pro Filter Primer and then their eye primer here. And it actually feels really nice. It feels like a really light moisturizer. And then for the eyes, I've been using this eye primer for a while now. I'm actually almost out, but really like this eye primer as well. Just going to tap it in. For foundation, I'm using the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. Just going to dot it over my face. I'm using the Luxie Airbrush Foundation Brush. I'm just going to blend that in by tapping it like this. So, my 2020, what have I been up to in January? I have been trying to get on a better sleeping schedule. I know I've been talking about this for a really long time, but in 2020, I really want to prioritize my body and my health because I realized my lifestyle was just not very ideal at all. When I moved to LA, I was just on that work grind, stay up late, get work done. I'm just trying to build a better routine, better habits so that holistically I can just kind of level up and feel better about myself. Now I'm going to conceal just a little bit here and around here. You probably can't tell, but I can see some of my dark spots and hyperpigmentation that I just want to cover up. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. I'll leave all of the products down below in the description as always, along with my shade names. I had a really nice Sigma brush for concealer that I wanted to use, but I can't find it. But this one is just as good. It's the Fenty 180 brush that is made for concealers. So I'm just going to tap it into my face like this. I definitely don't regret the schedule or the lifestyle that I've had in the last 2-3 years because I still had so much fun staying up late because I am a night owl. I feel like that's when I'm most reflective, but now I just need to shift it a little bit earlier. Like get reflective at like 7 p.m. instead of at like 1 a.m. So now I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Setting Powder on a Sigma angled foundation brush. I just take a little bit because there's a lot of powder in there. And then on the cap, I'll swivel it around to disperse it and then just kind of tap it on to set my foundation a bit. I don't like to use too much because I don't want to dry out my skin. I really like this brush because it just has a really nice density and it's really soft. I'm not a huge fan of this pencil design. I just don't really like it. I think I just like things that are more sleek, like that. For brows, I'm going to use this one from Sephora. This is their retractable brow pencil. I love pencil brow products because they're just really fast with the application and it's really easy. The only thing is sometimes they don't last as long throughout the day, but this Sephora collection one actually has really good staying power. So I really have been liking this a lot. Moving on to the eyes now, using the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. Looks like this. It's super pretty. First, I'm gonna use this shade right here and just apply that all over the lids as the base color. Now I'm going to take this shade right here. It's called Off Balance and it's like a light purple shade, like that. I'm going to take an e.l.f. defining eye brush and apply it to the inner corner and then on the outer corner. So I like to go in this kind of rounded motion on the inner corner so that I can bring the color up and then also blend it out. Pretty much separating the eye into thirds. So this would be the first third, the second third, and then the last third. So I wanted to leave the second third, the center, bare for the glitter color, but I kind of went over it into the halfway point, which is totally fine. It might actually help with blending out later. Now for the outer third, I actually want to make it pretty angular, so I'm gonna create a wing kind of shape like this on the outer corner. Because I'm not drawing a winged line for this look, I want to add some shape and definition with the shadow by doing that. And it's okay if it's not perfect. You can always clean up that shape later with concealer. Now I'm going to take this dark shade right here. It's kind of like a mix between like brown and a purple. And this one is called Vortex. Looks like that. These shadows are so pigmented. So I'm going to take that on another e.l.f. defining eye brush, a cleaner one. I'm gonna alternate actually between this one and this Luxie mini round brush. So I'm just going to go over those same spots, but with this darker color. And this is going to help add, you know, dimension and gradient. I'm trying to be so careful right now because look how pigmented that is. Like, I don't want to overdo it, and I feel like I've already kind of have. So I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. On New Year's Day, I actually found what looked like a bullet on my windshield. Like, I was running errands and I saw there was like a crack on the windshield, and then when I went to look on the outside, the crack was way more severe than I had thought, and it was crazy. And so, you know, I called the police to get it checked out, but I think something just fell on my windshield when I was driving back to LA after Christmas. That was a very interesting first day of the year. First day of the decade. I just pretty much had to deal with that and get my windshield replaced, which was not fun. It did make me a little paranoid and nervous that day and that night, but once I woke up the next day, I was like, you know, things like this are going to happen that you can't control. You just have to deal with it and just go with the flow. I just really hate dealing with insurance and doing stuff like that, but I guess I realized through that experience that it's not a big deal. Like, just make the call if you have to. Do the things that you just have to do, even though you don't want to. I think I just learned you never know what can happen, good and bad. You just have to deal with it with a really positive, can-do attitude. So now I just took this flat concealer brush. This is from Royal and Langnickel, and I just cleaned up the edges of this wing a little bit. Next, I'm going to take this shimmery gold color right here called Galaxy. Very velvety, and it's really nice. I'll swatch it here. Like, it's so pretty. So I'm just going to tap it right here. Now I'm going to take this shade right here, which is another glitter color. It's called Super Moon. Let me bring it in closer. So this one has glitter specks that are a little bit thicker and chunkier than the previous one that I just used, which is this one right here. I want to layer that on top of the center two over this shade to add some dimension. Just make it pop a little bit more, give it a little bit of texture. I feel like these glitter shades work best with your fingers, but you can also use a flat brush. This glitter shade is also super iridescent, so it picks up a lot of different little colors too. So now I'm going to take this darker shade again and go over the shadows, because I feel like I took it a little too far with the glitters and rubbed some of that color off maybe. I just want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm just going over the outer corner again and bringing that inward towards the glitters. What else has been going on? I feel like January's theme has just been like getting my life together so that I can be prepared for what's to come this year. It's just a lot of maintenance and housekeeping stuff. Nothing too exciting. So now I'm taking this mini round brush again and going over the inner corner. I'm also defining this little angle going over where my eye socket is. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like right here. I do kind of have to furrow my brows and forehead to know where it is, which isn't, you know, the best, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Now I'm going to pop on some lashes. These are the Ardell Wispies. Okay, the lashes are on, but I'm gonna add a little bit more of the darker shade to the inner corner again because the lashes are really accentuating this outer corner and I want to balance the look out. Yep, I think that's a little better. I'm also gonna add the darker color to the lower lash line a bit. Again, just to balance the look out. So I'm going to concentrate it mostly in the outer half of the eye and then drag whatever's left to the inner corner because I don't want it to be too heavy on the bottom either. And you can also connect it to the outer upper half. I'm going to contour with Fenty Beauty now. This is their Sunstalker in India Sun. And I'm taking the Sephora Collection Pro Contour Brush. Just going down the sides here. Wow, look at that difference. 2019 going into 2020 was also the most reflective I've ever been around the new year in a really long time. Usually I just don't like that extra pressure of the new year coming around and having to make all these new resolutions because I always feel like you can change your life any day. You can make a new goal any day of the year. But I really felt like this year I wanted to think about changes I wanted to make in my life. I'm also going to take this down my nose bridge. I am not a very good goal setter whatsoever, but I finally sat down and thought about my goals for this year and what I want to do with my life. Now for blush, I'm going to use this one from M Cosmetics. This is from their Magic Hour collection. Pretty light pink, like corally shade. I'm going to use this one from Burberry. I actually got this a really long time ago and I forgot that I had it, and I really loved this highlighter. It's a super pretty rose gold one, so I decided to pull it out and use it again. I like taking highlighter on fan brushes because I feel like it's not as harsh and it's more natural looking than using the tapered highlighting brushes. But it really depends on the product you're using too. The blush is a little bit more corally than I want actually. It's like not as neutral. So I'm taking the foundation brush that I used earlier to blend it out. I'm now applying lip color. This is from the M Cosmetics Magic Hour collection too. I think the collection was inspired by this True Gloss shade. I wore this a lot last year. Lip colors always tie the look in together. Oh, by the way, if you guys heard that background white noise, that was my refrigerator and it finally just stopped. Okay, so this is the final makeup look. I'm just gonna let my bangs do its thing because I've been messing with it for the last 10 minutes thinking somehow I'm going to make it look okay, and it's been 10 minutes. Thank you again for joining me and I will see you in my next one. Bye.